Good morning, everyone. I'm Father Steuterman from St. Richard's Church in Sterling. I'm dressed in my play clothes today because things are closed down. I wanted to say a few words about what's going on inside of us during this crisis, and perhaps then I'd like to read a story. This is going to be a beautiful story that is very good for children and adults. So before I begin that, I just wanted to comment on everything going on with this virus. I know that when I think about it, the one thing we all want to be, we want to be in the know. We want things to be predictable so that we can make our plans. And we get very uncomfortable when we're in the dark and when we can't predict what is happening. These days, we have more questions than answers. We are much more in the dark about things than we are illuminated. And so we all have to learn how to cope with unpredictable rather than our usual routines. And this can be hard because it begins to dawn on us that in many ways we are not as in control as we thought. However, if you push through that in your own mind and spirit, you will discover that there is yet another longing in the human heart. It's the yearning to trust. Remember, in the Old Testament, God told the people of Israel that He was God. He said, "Be still and know that I am God." In other words, trust in Him. Now is the time for us all to be still. Jesus Himself taught, fear is useless. What is needed is trust. So today, as we continue to live through this crisis, I encourage you to put your trust in several things. Number one, trust in the realistic precautions that professionals are giving us. Trust in the care and the vigilance offered by our courageous and indefatigable physicians and health workers. They're amazing. Trust in our civil leaders, and trust in our media professionals who keep us posted and in touch. And finally, trust most of all in yourself. Trust in your own innate common sense that is deep within you, because it's connected to the deep love of God, who gave us all the gifts we have and who daily invites us to trust in Him. So that's a message that you might think about in these coming weeks. And I encourage you to get out a Bible and spend a few minutes each day reading it. Talk among your family members about how you're feeling and how your trust level is up and down, whatever it is, it's okay. And we will all survive this as best we can. Here at St. Richard's, we have a few things online on Facebook that you can watch. We probably won't be able to do any more Sunday Masses because of the restrictions that are now placed upon us to keep our buildings closed, but we will certainly be praying for you. And today, I thought I'd read a story to you in this story time. It's a book that I got many years ago, and I've used it many times in many parishes for different occasions. And as I was thinking about what's going on, this book came to mind because it's a book on how to live in the present. It's a book called The Precious Present, written by a medical doctor, Spencer Johnson. So I'm just going to read it. Relax, make yourself comfortable. If you want to close your eyes, you can. That works best for some. But whatever works for you. And this is going to go on, 15, 20 minutes. And it's a time to really let your spirit relax. Once, there was a boy who listened to an old man. and thus began to learn about the precious present. It is a present because it is a gift, the contented old man explained. And it is precious because anyone who receives such a present is happy forever. Wow, the little boy exclaimed, I hope someone gives me the precious present. Maybe I'll get it for Christmas. The boy ran off to play, and the old man smiled. He liked to watch the boy play. He saw the smile on the youngster's face, and he heard him laughing as he swung from a nearby tree. The boy was happy, and it was a joy to see. The old man also liked to watch the boy work. He even rose early on Saturday mornings to watch the little laborer mow the lawn across the street. The boy actually whistled while he worked. The little child was happy, no matter what he was doing, and was indeed a joy to behold. When he thought about what the old man had said, the boy thought he understood. He knew about presents, like the bicycle he got for his birthday, like the gifts he found under the tree on Christmas morning. But as the boy thought more about it, he knew the joy of toys never lasts forever. The boy began to feel uneasy. What then, he wondered, is the precious present? What could possibly make me happy forever? He found it difficult even to imagine the answer. And so he returned to ask the old man, is the present a magical ring, one that I might put on my finger and make all wishes come true? No, he was told. The precious present has nothing to do with wishing. As the boy grew older, he continued to wonder. He went to the old man. Is the precious present a flying carpet, he inquired, one that I could get on and go any place that I liked? No, the man quietly replied. When you have the precious present, you will be perfectly content to be where you are. The boy was becoming a young man now, and he felt a little foolish for asking, but he was uncomfortable. He began to see that he was not achieving what he wanted. Is the precious present, he ventured, a sunken treasure? Perhaps rare gold coins buried by pirates long ago? No, young man, the old man told him, it is not. The richness is rare indeed, but the wealth of the present comes only from itself. The young man thought for a moment and became annoyed. You told me, the young man said, that anyone who receives such a present would be happy forever. I never got such a gift as a child. I'm afraid you don't understand, the old man responded. You already know what the precious present is. You already know where to find it. And you already know how it can make you happy. You knew it best when you were a small child. You've simply forgotten. The young man went away to think. But as time passed, he became frustrated and finally angry. He eventually confronted the old man. If you want me to be happy, the young man shouted, why don't you just tell me what the precious present is? And where to find it? The old man volleyed. Yes, exactly, the young man demanded. I would like to, the old man said, but I do not have that power. No one does. Only you have the power to make yourself happy. Only you. The precious present is not something that someone gives you. It is a gift that you give yourself. The young man was confused, but determined. He resolved to find the precious present himself, and so he packed his bags, he left where he was, and he went elsewhere to look for the precious present. After many frustrating years, the man grew tired of looking for the precious present. He had read all the latest books, and he had looked in the Wall Street Journal. He had looked in the mirror and into the faces of other people. He wanted so much to find the precious present. He had gone to extraordinary lengths. He had looked for it at the top of mountains and in dark, cold caves. He searched for it in dense, humid jungles and underneath the seas. But it was all to no avail. His stretchful search exhausted him. He even became ill occasionally, but he didn't know why. But happy he was, and so were those who spent time with him when he learned from the old man, watching him. He was healthier than most people. Why does it feel so good to be with him? The young man wondered. Why? He left wondering. After many years, the once young man returned to inquire further. He was now very unhappy, often ill. He needed to talk with the old man, but the old man had grown very, very old. And all too soon, he spoke no more. The wise voice could no longer be heard. The man was alone. At first, he was saddened by the loss of his old friend, and then he became frightened, very frightened. He was afraid he would never learn how to be happy, until he finally accepted what had always been true. He was the only one who could find his own happiness. The unhappy man recalled what the happy old man had told him so many years ago, but as hard as he tried, he could not figure it out. He tried to understand what he had heard. The present has nothing to do with wishing. When you have the present, you will be perfectly content to be where you are. The richness of the present comes from its own source. The present is not something that someone gives you, it is something you give to yourself. The unhappy man was now tired of looking for the precious present. He had grown so tired of trying that he simply stopped trying. And then it happened. He didn't know why it happened or when it happened, it just happened. He realized that the precious present was just that, the present. Not the past and not the future, but the precious present. In an instant, the man was happy. He realized he was in the precious present. He raised both hands triumphantly into the cool, fresh air. He was joyous for one moment. But then as quickly as he had discovered it, he let the joy of the present moment evaporate. He slowly lowered his hands, touched his forehead, and frowned. The man was unhappy again. Why, he said, didn't I see the obvious long ago? Why have I missed so many precious moments? Why has it taken me so long to live in the present? And the man remembered his fruitless travels around the world in his search for the precious present. He knew how much happiness he had lost. But he had not experienced what each time and place had to offer and had missed a great deal, which made him sad. He continued to berate himself, and then he saw what he was doing. He observed that he was trapped in his guilt about the past. When he became aware of this unhappiness and of his being in the past, he returned to the precious moment and he was happy. But then the man began to worry about the future. Will I, he asked, be able to know the joy of living in the precious present tomorrow? Then he saw that he was living in the future and he laughed at himself. He listened to what he now knew, and he heard his own wisdom. It is wise to think about the past and to learn from my past. But it is not wise for one to be in the past, for that is how I lose myself. It is also wise to think about the future and to prepare for my future. But it is not wise to be in the future, for that too is how I lose myself. And when I lose myself, I lose what is most precious to me. It was so simple. And now he saw it. The present nourished him. But the man knew it was not going to be easy. Learning to be in the present was a process he was going to have to do over and over again until it became part of him. Now he knew why he had enjoyed being with the old man. The old man was totally present when he was with the younger man. The old man was not thinking about something else or wishing he was somewhere else. He was fully present, and it felt good to be with such a person. The younger man smiled at himself the way the old man used to smile. He knew, I can choose to be happy now, or I can try to be happy when or if. The man chose now. And now the man was happy and he felt at peace with himself. He agreed to savor each moment in his life, the apparently good and the apparently bad, even if he didn't understand. For the first time in his life, it didn't matter. He accepted each of his precious moments on this planet as a gift. I know that some people choose to receive the precious present when they are young, others in middle age, and some when they are very old. Some people sadly never do. I can choose the precious present whenever I want. As the man sat there thinking, he felt fortunate. He was who he was, where he was, and now he knew he would always be who he was and where he was. He listened again to his thoughts. The present is what is. It is valuable, even if I do not know why. It is already just the way it is supposed to be. When I see the present, accept the present, and experience the present, I am well and I am happy. Pain is simply the difference between what is and what I want it to be. When I feel guilty over my imperfect past or am anxious over my unknown future, I do not live in the present. I experience pain, I make myself ill, and I am unhappy. My past was the present, and my future will be the present. But the present moment is the only reality I ever experience. As long as I continue to stay in the present, I am happy forever, because forever is always the present. The present is simply who I am, just the way I am, right now, and it is precious. I am precious. I am the precious present. It was as though he could hear the old man talking. And he smiled, and his smile widened, and he laughed. He felt a great joy. He knew he was listening not to the old man, but to himself. He felt good. It felt good for him to be with himself just the way he was. He felt he knew enough. He felt he had enough. He felt he was enough. Now, the man had grown very old into a happy, prosperous, and healthy old man. One day, a little girl came by to talk to him. She liked to listen to the old man, as she called him. It was fun to be with him. There was something special about him, but she didn't know what it was. One day, the little girl really began to listen to the old man. Somehow, she sensed something important in his calm voice. He seemed very happy. The little girl couldn't understand why. How could someone so old, she wondered, be so happy? She asked the old man, and he told her why. All of a sudden, the little girl jumped off and squealed with delight. As the girl ran off to play, the old man smiled, for he had heard what she had said. "Wow," she exclaimed, "I hope someday someone gives me the precious present." The end. God bless you. God bless America.